Wake up.
Wake up.
Wake up!
Get up.
You get out of bed this instant.
And turn it on.
Glenn, Angel, and the Flying Dutchman.
The Big Show on Kiss 92.
Good morning, Singapore. It's Happy at Work Thursday, and we have with us Adrian Choo once again from Career Agility International. Welcome back, Adrian.
Good morning, Glenn. And
We missed you last week.
Yeah, I know, and I missed you guys too, but the end was fun.
Yeah,
Talking
of
about
course.
office
She was.
politics.
Office politics, unreal, right?
I can't believe we spoke about office politics for like 45 minutes
Yeah, we did.
and survived.
And survived. And today we're going to talk about office politics again.
Really?
Bit more, yeah. But we're talking about how do you survive an office a political office environment, and what are the signs, the 5 signs that your job could actually be in danger.
Ooh.
Yeah. So it's quite scary. The last month, actually, I ran an exercise and I wrote an article about it. I met with 40 people in 20 days. Networking like crazy.
Wow.
Yeah, 43 people actually. And when I spoke to a lot of them, interestingly, across the whole spectrum, many of them worried about their jobs. And they're saying that, it's my job. Do I even have a job when I'm 50? So, talking to them, and they were asking me, what are some things to look out for? So I thought, today might be interesting to talk about what are the 5 signs that your job could be in trouble, and what does it mean for you?
Why are they thinking so far, though?
Well, you can see why, because in Singapore, the question I would ask is, so they're asking, will I have a job at 50?
Yeah.
Is it because how do I put this? They feel replaceable?
For so many reasons, and that's why I was delving very deep into it. Some of them feel they're replaceable. Some of them feel they're getting too expensive. The other reason is because the more senior you get, usually you move up to a more regional role. And the truth of it is that a lot of multinational companies are moving out of Singapore. I mean, a lot of people don't want to talk about this, but they're moving out. They're moving out of Singapore to places like Bangkok, to back to Mumbai, or wherever it is, because it's so much cheaper. And the funny thing is, the expatriates, they actually would prefer moving to Bangkok right now, because when they look at the Singapore property rentals, the food, everything else, it's just simply crazy.
Yeah, I just feel like in many ways, it's out of your hands. You know what I mean? For these people who are thinking like when they are 50, I mean, how old are they now?
Yeah, in early 40s.
See what I mean? So it's like, you're not living in the present. I think too many people are like making themselves worry so much, thinking 15 years down the road, or some people even 20 years down the road, when really many things could happen in the process. So why not just live in the present? I mean, take note of that, but you don't even know whether you're going to be in the same company,
Don't you believe in planning, though? Your 5-year plan, your 10-year plan?
In the past, I used to hear a lot of people talk about it. Yeah, I mean, you kind of plan, but I mean, really, is it within your power to make it happen?
I think it is, actually. I think it is.
Yeah.
To have an inkling, to have that idea that there might be a cliff at the end of your meteoric climb, or in the middle of your meteoric climb up the corporate ladder, suddenly it's like, oh no, I'm just simply too expensive. Or
Right.
I'm just too senior. So one of the interesting people we spoke to was a technology guy. And he is 53, and he got retrenched last year. And he said, look, at my level, very senior guy. Okay, very senior guy. He said, at my level, if I were to join another bigger tech company or large size tech company like the one I was before at, they could afford me, but why should they afford me? They could get someone younger and cheaper.
Okay.
And then, if I join the startups or the younger ones like TikTok, at 53, I'm the grandfather there, The average age is about 25, 26. Can I fit in?
Right.
So he's stuck. So he's got to figure out, what then do I do?
So you see, he's worried. He's going to worry himself sick, right? It's like, I mean, what can he do?
Yeah.
So, can he actually control that?
So he's going
I'm
to
too
worry
expensive?
from now up to the point where, he's gone.
So he's saying that, if I had thought about this back in about 10 years ago, I could have done something. So that's why, so for many of us, we just have to start thinking about it and, just take preventive actions.
Okay. Oh, I've got a message here from Sean. Sean Tupaz is tuned in right now.
Morning, Sean.
With his gal, Michelle.
Morning, Sean.
And Sean says, please say hi to Adrian. I miss him.
Oh, I miss you too, Sean.
Sean Tupas, if you miss Adrian, go look for him lah. Have a kopi with him one of these days, like you guys used to, right?
Yeah,
Before.
all the time.
And I will join you all as well.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, let's continue to talk to Adrian on The Big Show TV. Up next, Marshmallow and Kane Brown. This one's for you, Sean and Michelle. Miles on It on Kiss 92.
So Winston Long has come onto our Facebook page and said, I think older workers, 50 years old and above, who are at the higher end of the pay scale should worry. They need to understand where they stand in an organization and how they can continue to be relevant and needed.
But this is what I mean, you see. Should worry. No one should worry. If everyone worries, everyone will be looking like FD.
It started.
It's that I was running out. Time check, 8:06.
Don't
6 minutes. It just
Don't worry. Be happy.
I think on one hand, yes, worry is quite useless if you just worry about it and take no action about it, right? Yeah. So I think it's you worry, you think about it, and then you take action about it. Then you just stop worrying about it after that. So I think you're absolutely right. But what sort of actions can you take, especially? And I think, and the thing that surprised me the most was that these people in their late 30s, even early 40s, they're looking around and they're seeing their seniors losing their jobs and taking close to a year and a half, 2 years, searching for a new one. I'm not even saying to land, they're still searching for a new one. And they get worried for themselves. Right now, I'm okay, I'm fine. So what can I do about it? And they are in industries that are very, 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 very fast moving. So being able to adapt is another issue as well.
Thinking about things that they should do, Chris Henson's come up and said, why don't people at that age think about going entrepreneurial?
I like that, Chris. So, to be an entrepreneur takes a really crazy mindset to go into. I mean, if you really want to go into it, it's not like I just set up a kacang putih store or something like that, right? You have to start thinking about a lot of things. And I always encourage people to have a side gig anyway.
Yeah.
So if you are in, you're thinking, okay, maybe by the time I'm 50, I want to have a side gig going. Maybe I can be a trainer. Maybe I can be a voice trainer like Chris. Maybe I can do something on the side. Maybe I can even, some people get a PHV license, a Grab license. So on the side. So I think start to make plans for all these alternate options. Or do a business. Like for myself, 10 years ago, 12 years ago when I was 40, I said to myself, I'm not so sure whether I can still do headhunting when I'm 50. So I took time out, strategized, and ended up starting Career Agility. So this is a business we are running.
Right.
Yeah.
And you're very happy, right?
Yeah, very happy.
So much happier. So much more work, but so much more satisfying.
Yes, and I'm in total control of my time and my destiny, and I get to do my afternoon admin time. So you guys know what it is.
That's what you call it.
Yeah, my admin time for me to just decompress and take a quick power nap. But ultimately, what we say is, I think you're in control. Entrepreneurship, if entrepreneurship is for you, go ahead and do it. If it's not for you, then what else can you do? Maybe you can do what we call a portfolio career, which means I do several gigs on the side. I don't have to be 100%. So things like these take time to incubate.
But is it important for the side gig to bring in like a certain amount of revenue? Because there are some people who do it because they love it.
Yeah.
It's a hobby. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, for example, you mentioned Chris Henson. I mean, the money part of his work is his insurance. Right? I'm sure he's still in insurance. I haven't checked with him. But his side hustle is what he loves, his hobby. He likes singing, he likes emceeing, he likes, conducting these voice classes and all that. But that's not where the money is. To a certain extent it is, but it's not, in my opinion, it is more a hobby than anything else.
So that's why it's nice to have your hands in several different pots, in a way. Some make money, some don't. Some will make money at some time of the year, some don't. And just keep it running so that you have several options rather than just one. But once again, not everyone. So I have this CFO client of mine who, at a very young age of 55, she decided to retire, but now she's sitting down and she's saying, I want to start a business. So she started a cosmetic. She's trying to resell cosmetic, but she's struggling.
Okay.
Because entrepreneurship is not her. She's not.
Right.
She's a CFO, and it takes a different kind of animal, like FD would know.
Yeah.
To run your own business,
Yeah.
the savviness, the drive, the crazy mindset, and everything.
Right.
So entrepreneurship may not be for everyone. If it's not for you, then what else can you do?
Right.
Okay, so thinking about that, what else can you do? Don't you have to understand when your job is in jeopardy first?
There? Yeah. Okay. So that's important. I agree with FD. Then when you know, like, okay, something's up.
Yeah.
I can tell that I'm going to be retrenched or
Yeah,
something.
yeah.
Then you worry. But before that, why do you worry?
Yeah.
You can plan, but then it hasn't happened yet. Unless you know it is going to happen, then maybe you can start
That's
worrying
already-
if you don't have like anything else to go to.
True.
But what I mean is there are too many people who worry even before, like what
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
just talking about,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Okay, we'll go back on air and continue to talk about this. FD, you can ask him the question
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then we go on air.
Kiss 92 traffic.
Alrighty, on the roads, you've got the usual delays across the expressways. We don't see too many problems if you're heading out. Just look out for the SLE towards the CTE, a vehicle broken down after the BKE entrance, the PIE towards Tuas, an accident after Thompson Road exit with a bit of congestion there. Please stay within the speed limit, have everyone buckled up, be safe as you drive today.
Welcome back to The Big Show and The Big Show TV. For those of you who are watching us on The Big Show TV, you would have seen a very funny situation. I turned around and I got a shock of my life. All right. Okay, anyway,
Okay.
Our guest for today is Adrian Choo, CEO and founder at Career Agility International. Welcome, Adrian.
Always happy to be here. And today we're talking about, what are some of the signs that your job is in jeopardy?
That's just it. So, we're saying we should always know when a problem is coming.
Yeah.
We should always plan ahead. Chris has come back again and said, always develop an exit or escape hatch early,
Yes.
where you know that it will take time to incubate. So you start early and get it so that when anything happens,
Yeah.
the door is just there. You open it and walk in.
I agree.
Yes.
I agree.
Yeah. In fact, not just one or several. If you
Right.
can, right?
Yeah.
But how do we know when we're getting closer to that door?
I think the safest thing to be is to assume that, in today's context, and I don't want to be a doom and gloom guy on a wonderful Thursday morning, but it's one of the most dangerous things to do is to assume that your job's going to be there for you in the next 2 or 3 years even, let alone 2 or 3
Absolutely.
months. In today's context, it's just the nature of the work, nature of business for companies to just let people go. So don't be complacent, have an exit strategy. But even before you have an exit strategy, there are usually signs that your job's in danger. So one of the signs I would always advise our clients is that when your organization, when your company, on a global level, is not performing, after 2 quarters or maybe 3 quarters, they're losing, they're in the red. I can almost guarantee you, if you're in a listed company, in the US listed company, after 2 quarters in the red, they're going to start axing people.
Wow.
Not because they want to, because the CEO has to. Because if he doesn't do that, the shareholders are going to say, what are you doing? And then he's going to go. So to protect his job, he's going to start axing people. So when you see the company not performing well, that's one of the first signs that you got to start thinking about making that exit plan already. And we've seen that happen all too often. Sometimes even just 1 quarter, not making profits, they start axing because the CEO's bonuses
Yeah.
are pegged to quarter-on-quarter earnings.
Okay.
So the moment it's not happening, they're going to start saying, okay, what can we do to improve the bottom line? Hey, instead of selling more, we just let a whole bunch of people go.
So that's one of the signs. Because today we're talking about 5 signs, right?
Yeah, one of the signs.
5 signs that indicate your job might be in jeopardy.
Yeah.
And I think it's not just the organization level. Even for yourself, if you're a salesperson and you're not hitting targets after 2 quarters, you also have to start worrying about. Even it's not your fault. Even if it's just the industry that's having a rough time, I think you also need to make preparations, not to get fired or get asked to go, okay, but to pull it back up again. Because nowadays everyone is in the market; they're just very performance based. Bosses don't care. They just say, look, if not hitting, I cannot keep you on board. You do something, I'm going to cut your pay or I'm going to move you out.
What about when companies so-called streamline and go, I tell you what, I'm going to take this away from you and I'm going to give it to him, and I'll take that away from you and I'm going to give it to that one, and you end up almost meaningless.
Right?
Okay, Adrian's going to answer this on the Big Show TV, okay? Because we have to go for a break right now. It's 8:16.
Kiss 92 Time Check brought to you.
Okay, so the question was, what about when people, when your bosses use this one, I love this term, we're going to streamline things. So I'll take this that you're handling and I'll give it to that person. And maybe that you're doing, I'll give to that person. You see, now everything's more streamlined.
Except you. You're the odd one out sitting
Is
there.
that a worry?
Sometimes it is. And case in point, I had this other client quite recently. She was a very senior business leader, and she was running the whole region. Early last year, the bosses told her, I'm going to remove you from this. I'm going to put you in a special transformation project where you're going to help to redesign the organization. And she looked at it and she said, that's actually a 40% smaller job than what I was doing, but same pay. So she was happy lah. She was saying, hey, wow, I'm being paid the same to do less. But what she didn't realize was that was just a temporary holding position. They gave her job to someone younger, someone cheaper, and they held her there for about 6 months, and then they said, look, the project's done, thank you very much. You're out.
Wow.
So one of the signs, streamlining is exactly what you're mentioning. And if you see yourself being given a smaller portfolio, or even if there's a huge reorganization and you're standing there, it's like playing musical chairs. Suddenly the music stops and then you realize, hey, I got no more seat anymore. I think that's something that you should be worried about. And the other thing you should be worried about as well is the why. Why are they giving me this smaller, reduced portfolio? Or maybe they give you a bigger portfolio, really big, that you can't handle it. Then
Trying to push you out.
Yeah. So all these are also.
But why do they
signs.
do that though? I mean, if they recognize, let's say, this person, the senior person, his contributions or her contributions or whatever, and the only thing that is a problem is the fact that, maybe, as you mentioned, this person is, in terms of his or her salary,
Too expensive.
it's too expensive, then why not talk to this person to see if they can come to a nice compromise? Because nothing beats experience, right? Unless, of course, this person is not performing as optimally as he or she used to.
I would have thought a way out was when someone reached a cap and got too expensive in terms of salary, wouldn't you be able to offer them company shares or something like that?
Company shares.
Some companies do that.
They probably already are on company shares, on what they call restricted stock units, on options and everything. The truth is that sometimes you do get a bit too expensive for the role
Wow.
you're in, and you have to move up or move out. So I once placed this very senior number 2 guy for a very huge software company. Okay, into another company when I was headhunting. And he was on the top of his game in that company. It was a huge company. And when I asked him, why do you want to move? He said, I've come to the point in my career in this Singapore and APAC organization, Asia Pacific organization, where my next move in order to justify my salary increment, is to go back to headquarters in the US. But I don't want to.
Oh.
So if I stay here, they're gonna push me out sooner or later because I'm way too heavy for the Asia Pacific balance sheet. So he was smart. So he preempted it. And he looked for another role outside the organization, and he's doing very well.
Did he? But when you already know you're that heavy when it comes to salary, when you take that new role, do you take it with a pay cut, or do you?
If you're thinking internally or externally, if he went back to headquarters, it will be a pay rise even.
No, but if he's leaving that company and going to another one, does he stick with his salary and bring that weight, or does he take a pay cut?
It depends. If he wants to accelerate, then he'll go to another company and continue accelerating. But what he did was he said, no, I kind of had enough of corporate life. He jumped to another company, lower pay, but hey, 5 p.m. he's off.
Right.
So for him, it was once again a career longevity play, which means that he stayed in that job for 9 years before he retired.
Right.
In the new job for 9 years. Less pay, less stress, but he had 9 good years in that organization.
This is like your legendary player from Liverpool, FD, Steven Gerrard, who many people said lacked ambition, but the Liverpool fans loved him because he was so, faithful to the club, right? But he was very comfortable. There were so many other clubs that offered him so much more money, but he just stayed, very comfortably.
And once again, there's nothing wrong with that. If that's your point, if that's your strategy, it's okay. And I think one of the worst things to do is to let people decide or talk you or browbeat you into, hey, you must do this, you must do that. And then it's like, yeah, okay, fine. I'll take the promotion because otherwise everyone's going to say that I'm a has-been. Then you take it, then you're unhappy. So I think you must have that. You must have that career strategy. And a lot of times, it's not easy to develop your own career strategy on your own, especially when you're in the thick of the game. That's how our clients come to us and we start talking about it and we start to dig deep into the underlying motivations. Why do you want a promotion?
Yeah.
Interestingly, we did a survey late last year and we asked mid-senior managers, do you want to accelerate your career? A lot of them said, yes, I want to accelerate my career to the next step. Do you want your boss's job? 70% said no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want my boss's job because I know that that's not a job I want to do. The next question we ask them is, so what? So how? And they have no idea. So, okay, no. All I know is that I want to get promoted, but I don't want my boss's job.
Right.
Wow.
Then they come talk to us and then we got to start mapping out things for them. But until they sit down and realize that it's musical chairs on one hand, but on the other hand, you really need to strategize a lot about it.
And when we say strategize, we don't mean worry excessively.
Yeah.
All right, as long as you have a plan. But once again, it's easier said than done, right? I mean, like what you mentioned just now, Chris Henson said, you always need to have something like planned.
Planned, yeah.
Right? But not everyone can have that plan, no matter how much they think about it, right?
Yeah.
Be it investing in a side business or whatever. They're not willing to part with that money because they've got other obligations. They've got family to feed. And so, they're just stuck, basically.
Yeah, that's true.
Right?
Yeah. And that's why one of the other things, the other warning sign that your job could be at risk is when there's a change in senior management, when your bosses are replaced, new bosses come in, especially if new bosses from other companies come in. And then suddenly when you want to go up to him and talk to him about, hey, this is what I can do. How do I fit into your new structure, new organization?
Yeah.
And then they go, oh yeah, I'll talk to you later.
That's when
Of course, we have things like lifelong learning, skills future, and stuff like that. I guess the whole point here is that, you once you hit a certain stage of your career, this whole planning for the future and all that, you can't be too picky. You know what I mean? When you've hit a certain age, you can't expect to be earning what you were earning like maybe 10 years ago or whatever. As long as you have a job to keep you going, you should be thankful. I guess that's the attitude here in Singapore.
Is that the thought process?
I would say, yeah. If that's your strategy, then yes. But unfortunately, there's such a thing as lifestyle creep.
Yeah.
And then you decided to spring for a bigger property,
Right.
or a bigger car, and suddenly you realize that I need to earn more to keep this
Yeah.
Going.
Yeah.
going. And then you're working. one of my mentors used to joke about it. He called it, you're working for the bank. Yeah, you're working for the loan to pay off everything. You're working for the bank. You're not working for yourself anymore.
So
I think
for
a lot
many-
of Singaporeans are
yeah.
like that.
So I think for many people who are listening right now, right, they're going like, okay, good. These people deserve what they're getting because they didn't plan properly. As in, Okay, anyway, we'll go back on air. Stand by.
Kiss 92 traffic.
Alrighty, let's take a look at it. Usual delays across the expressways. That is quite normal for this time of the day. It's no big surprise. KJE towards the PIE, a vehicle broken down at the BKE entrance. Look out for that. PIE towards Tuas, an accident after Thompson Road. That is causing some delay on the PIE. Please take note of that. Stay within the speed limit. Have everyone buckled up. Be safe as you drive today.
Welcome back to The Big Show and The Big Show TV. It is Happy at Work Thursday, and today we're talking about the 5 signs that your job might be in jeopardy.
Yeah. So if a new boss comes in and he refuses to talk to you, something's amiss. Or if you suddenly find yourself locked out of conversations, or there's a new project that's coming up, and everyone's all buzzing about it, and then you ask, what's happening? You say, you mean you didn't get a memo? No, I didn't get a memo. Why am I being left out of new projects that are coming up? Not a good sign either.
Okay.
Because that just means your job, your role could be at risk. Then you're going to start thinking what to do.
I've actually told my staff this before. I said, when we sit on your back and we nag you and we push you and we nag you,
That's true.
you're in a good place. When your boss stops talking to you,
Yeah.
then you really seriously start to worry.
Yeah. Means he's given up.
He's given up on
Yeah,
you
he's not
already.
gonna- yeah.
So
Or you're on the way
that's
up,
a, for me, that's a massive sign.
Yeah.
But you see, someone like FD, for example, there's no problem because he's got his events company, right? I mean, if
I have a back door.
eventually when you retire or whatever from this particular job, I mean, if you ever do, you have that,
Yeah.
to go to.
And that's always been my back door.
Correct.
Yeah.
Someone like me, I don't have that. Right? So what do I do? But then I'm thinking to myself, I will not be doing what I'm doing when I'm your age.
Right.
When I'm 68, I ain't doing this.
Golf. Every day
Right.
golf.
Yeah, I'll be out there.
But you see, you're comfortable knowing that this is going to stop at this point, and then
Yeah.
after that, you have golf.
Golf or any
whatever
other-
it may be.
traveling
You are-
or whatever.
You
Travel
are
golf.
comfortable
Travel
with that.
golf.
Yeah.
And as long as your finances allow you to be comfortable with that, I feel there's nothing wrong with it.
And I think you hit the nail on the head. Financing and your savings and everything is very critical as well.
Yeah.
Because we are all going to live to 90. Okay? And the
By
rate
then,
things are
right?
going-
At the
yeah.
At
moment,
the rate
I
things
think
are
the
going.
number
It's
is
83.
83, I think.
83 or
80,
84 or something, yeah.
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 But 83, but I found out a very interesting fact. No?
Uh-huh.
83, a person dies, right? Okay, that's the
Okay.
average
Yeah, yeah.
life expectancy here in
Yeah.
Singapore, right?
Mm-hmm.
But these people are sick for 10 years before that.
So 70 plus to 80 plus.
Yeah.
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 They live 10 years more, but they're ill.
Yeah.
What's the point?
Yeah. Might as well just. That's what I always say.
Again,
right?
it's planning your finances.
No, it's planning.
your health.
Yes.
Your health and finances.
And a lot of the time, it's these people, who are working too hard and worrying every single day of their lives
Then-
about what they're going to do next
yeah.
that makes them ill in the first
Yeah,
place.
Yeah, that's true. So I always believe that for me, I want to live life to the max until I don't. Then I just drop off and
No,
that's
but
it.
I think as long as you're happy, as in extremely happy
Yeah.
and fulfilled doing what you're doing,
It's good.
you'll be fine.
Yeah.
It's just when you get unhappy, and there are external forces that put stress on you and all that, that's when you will die young
Yes.
or younger.
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Or what's if you don't die young, you're in bad health, like what you say, for the last 10, 15 years.
Exactly.
And you're not just a drain on yourself, you're a drain on everyone around you. right?
yes. Yes.
Yeah. I've got a friend whose mom was in a coma for 15 years.
Wow.
And they took care of her. It was a drain. It was not just a financial drain, it was an emotional drain.
Of course.
Yeah.
So when she passed on, they were actually relieved. For her as well, because she was in suffering, but she just clung on. So,
Of course, I mean, there are things that's beyond your control.
Yeah,
things
correct.
like, Alzheimer's,
Yeah, or
dementia,
stroke or
these
whatever it
things,
is, yeah.
Parkinson's. It strikes you, oh my goodness,
Yeah.
But if you do your research and if you talk to the doctors and all that, this is what they all say, right? And I'm not just saying this because I do it. But it's just very simple exercise and moving and stuff like that, which reduces your chances of getting, sick like that in those areas by over 30%.
Yeah.
But people know that, but they don't do it.
People,
They're not motivated,
Yeah.
so to speak, to exercise.
maybe they're not worrying enough.
But it's not about motivation, like I always say, right? It's discipline,
Yeah,
bros.
that's right.
Yeah,
That's right.
but if you talk to a lot of people, you need to get into the mind. Yeah, husband, wife, working, kids at home. They get home at 8:00 at night, 8:30. By the time they're having dinner, it's 9:00. They're up at 6:00 the next morning.
Okay.
In their mind, I don't have time.
Okay, lah.
You actually do, but in their mind, they don't have time.
That's fine. In life, it's choices, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess, yeah.
And then I like
So
what
that's your choice.
And I like what you always say, it's discipline.
Right.
It
not,
is.
Not just motivation,
Yeah.
discipline. Put on your shoes, right?
I think we're talking about this as someone needs to hear it today. That's why. And I think we're going to change a few people's lifestyles
Yeah.
after today's show based on what we just said. But it is absolutely true, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
I spoke to someone, and for the longest time we're talking about motivation. What motivates you? What motivates you? It's not about motivation. It's just about discipline.
Yeah.
It's hard. It's very, very hard.
Interestingly, a lot of our clients come talk to us as well, and they say that, I'll start with you, but I'll start engaging you guys maybe next year. So, that's a bit too late already. Yeah, you got to do it now. Exercise as well. Now, sooner the better.
I think if you're going to go to a career strategist and ask them to strategize your careers, it's not about I'll hire you. Even hiring you tomorrow is too late.
Yeah. Okay, let's continue this conversation with Adrian Choo from Career Agility International on the Big Show TV. One Republic is next. This is Hurt on Kiss 92.
What else should we be looking out for?
Actually, there's so many signs now. I think
We've got to do more than 5 then.
actually, there are lots of signs. A lot of warning signs, especially if there's a retrenchment exercise coming up. Stupid policies. Sometimes you see stupid policies being enacted. Like suddenly the pantry has gone from your coffee machine to 3-in-1. And then suddenly it's just tea. And then it's like, wait a minute. Why are you guys cutting costs? And these are the silly things that happen. It's a precursor sign that they're trying to cut costs, and then something else is going to come about. Or suddenly you see a lot of external consultants coming in, running about. You say, seen these guys before? Who are these guys? And it turns out that they are efficiency experts who are coming in to streamline things like what FD is saying. It's like, okay, why? What's going on? So you have to keep an eye out, your ears are all open to see what are the changes around you. And unfortunately, many people are oblivious.
Yeah.
You see, they don't realize, oh, no, okay, fine, no coffee, it's okay, I'll bring my own. But it's silly policies like this that actually indicate that it's a warning bell. It's like a canary in the mine. It's like, beep, 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 the canary dies.
Yeah,
And then it's like, okay, you start looking out for things. The problem is, it's oftentimes like the frog in the water, frog in the boiling water. The temperature goes up a little bit. You don't realize it until one day you say, okay, fine guys, we're going to do a massive retrenchment tomorrow, right? And then you realize, oh shucks, why didn't I see the signs? But the signs were all around already. So if our listeners out there, if you're seeing these things happening around you,
Yeah.
even the slightest changes to your environment, your temperature, start asking the why, the what, the how. And Glenn is correct. Don't over worry too much, because worry is useless. Take action. What can I do today? Is my CV even ready? Do I even know how to do a job search?
Right.
So things like this. Are my skills up to date? If it's not up to date, then should I take any skills future courses?
Yeah.
So many things you can do.
Correct.
Apart from worry.
As long as you're doing something,
Yeah.
I think it's okay. But as I said, right, too many people just keep on worrying, but don't really have an idea or don't have the means to do something for whatever reason, and that must be really, really painful.
Yeah.
So, talking about people who are more vulnerable to be let go of, right? We've spoken about the people who are of a certain age who are being paid a certain amount of money. Who are the other? What are the other groups of people who are, in your opinion, vulnerable?
So the way I see it, there are two groups that are very vulnerable. Okay, one is the really super paid, high-end folks who have gotten too expensive. The other group, ironically, is on the other side of the spectrum. Okay, who are not that highly paid, junior levels in their 40s, because they don't have particular skills. They may not have the particular skills that is going to carry them through in 10 years' time.
Right, yes.
And therefore, when they reach, example, if you're 40 and you're an accountant rather than a finance manager or programmer, and you love programming because you're damn good at programming, right? When you're 48, do I need a 48-year-old programmer still?
Or do I want someone who's 23?
Yeah, who's half the price.
Yeah.
So once again, it affects both spectrums. The higher end ones because they're just too expensive. The rest we also run the risk of being don't say too expensive, but replaceable, more easily replaceable. Because a younger person, cheaper person can come in and do the job. Interestingly, and things like AI.
Yeah.
I was playing with AI image generation software. It's amazing. Just type in the prompt, the picture comes up and says, it looks pretty good. Maybe I'll just tweak it here, change her hair color to blue, make her smile a bit more. And then poop, it comes out. And then I'm wondering to myself, I used to pay a designer thousands of dollars to design this particular picture. Now it just comes out in 15 seconds.
Yeah.
So imagine if you're a graphic designer at 42, in 5 years' time, do I even need you around? Because AI is going to come in, or someone younger who can use AI to replace you. And instead of generating one image a week, this person can generate 400 images in a day.
Yeah, yeah.
See, so to your point, it's not just the upper end, the lower end, the middle part. If you're wise enough to craft your niche, I think it's okay.
You want to be somewhere in the middle.
You want to be somewhere in the middle where you're not too expensive, okay, not too cheap,
But safest.
and you have a particular skill set that's not so easily replaced by a younger person.
Yeah.
And if you're in the middle part of it, it's almost like in a marathon. I don't know. No, I don't run marathons. Have you guys run marathons before?
No, but it's all about,
Pace.
pacing yourself.
Right? And at the outset, you don't like chong. You don't like rush out all out and sprint.
No,
first
not
part,
yet.
right?
I've spoken to a few marathoners and all, and they say usually it's like you run and run and run and run. You pace yourself, and when you hit like maybe the 30 to 35 kilometer mark or something, that's when you chong
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
to make your timing.
Yeah,
you know
because
what I
if you're in the middle, you don't have to fight the wind resistance, the drought, everything else, right? You're in the crowd. So I think careers are like that. So right now, when you start planning your career, it's not about how much money I can make in the shortest time anymore. Now it's about how much longevity can I get out of this job? How sustainable is my career?
Right.
So that I can stretch it out to I'm 65, 70, and then I'm happy that way.
So, I want to use FD as an example.
Okay.
Because he is the most senior out of us
Yeah.
all, right? So now is the time where he should chong already, right? It's like, at this point
Yeah.
is where he should go for it.
But he's achieved everything he wanted to achieve already, so it doesn't need to chunk. So
But then you see, if that's his mindset, then might as well
I
just
think-
retire.
I know. I think I'm happy with where I am and what I've done.
But too comfortable? Also,
That is
not-
a worry.
That's
I'll
not
be
good.
honest. Yeah, that is a worry.
right?
Yeah.
Which is why I'm saying chung now, right? Because if he is saying, "Oh yeah, I'm here, I'm happy where I am,"
but I think FD
that's a bit complacent, right?
FD chunks in episodes. So if you got a big project,
Yeah.
or you
you
work
go.
really hard for the two months,
Yeah.
after that take it easy,
Yeah.
chill. So to be totally switched off means that I don't do anything. I just sit down and
Yeah, because we don't want to sit on our laurels either.
No, you don't.
that's
You
true.
don't.
You know what I mean?
But here's the question, though, and there are young people listening, and I'm sure they're asking this question. Managing your career, strategizing your career, we've talked about people in we're always talking about people in their 40s. But how young should I start if I'm going to strategize my career?
Oh, answer that question on air. Stand by.
What you think about sharing my last name? Let's get straight to I do. I don't wanna think it through, baby. I'm so stupid in love, so stupid in love with you. I'm so stupid in love, so stupid in love with you. I'm so stupid in love, stupid in love with you. Stupid in love with you, stupid in love. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful.
Kiss 92 traffic.
It's a usual day with delays across the expressways. No big surprise there. One or two areas that you're going to have to look out for as you head off this morning. TPE towards the PIE. A vehicle broken down at the PIE Tuas exit. KJE towards the PIE. A vehicle broken down before Senja Road entrance. Look out for that. PIE towards Tuas, we have that accident after Thompson Road exit with quite a bit of congestion. Stay within the speed limit, please. Have everyone buckled up. Be safe as you drive today.
That kind of backfired. I wanted to kind of like slurp my coffee out of the flask as quietly as possible. So I was sucking like very lightly. But then, it echoed through my flask. Anyway, my kopi O is very gao today. Actually, I can be bouncing off the walls, but I'm controlling myself. Anyway, okay, it's over to you.
Okay, I've got a question for Adrian, but before that, we have one question. It's come up on our Facebook page. This is a question for Glenn, and
My
you need
God,
to answer it.
I thought you had a stroke there.
No, you need to answer it. So, what's Glenn going to do after radio?
After radio? Gigolo. No, kidding. I don't know. It depends, right? Depends on when I decide, okay, I'm not having fun anymore. But, my career has always been, my thought, my thinking of what I've been doing is, there have been many occasions where I was asked to go into management. And then a couple of managers would come together and the majority of the managers would go like, no, it's not time for him to go into management yet. So even till now, that's the story of my life. But one day, if my bosses feel like, okay, Glenn, we want you to join us on the management team, I'm game for that. I'm not one of these DJs. I'm talking about 90% of DJs out there who don't want to be a boss. Of course, I want to be a boss. I feel like a boss already right now. I'm kidding. No, but I would love to go into management and help groom the next generation of DJs.
Nice.
And I think it's very, very important that we have a good bunch of DJs to take us into the next phase. You know what I mean? Because I don't think radio is going to ever go out of style.
Yeah.
Radio can evolve into something even bigger, and that's where my interest lies. So I'll just do this for as long as I'm having fun, and then I leave everything to my bosses.
So, bosses, are you listening? Okay.
They have been listening for a long time.
Okay, Adrian. The question I wanted to ask you: we talk about 40-year-olds strategizing their careers. Even 50-year-olds strategizing the last few years of their life. How young should I be when I'm starting to that plan, that strategizing? At what point? How young should I start?
Well, there's an old saying that the best time to plant a tree is 10 years ago, right?
Right.
Yeah, so I always say it's never too late, it's never too early. Like my son, he's going into NUS, starting his first year next month.
Yeah.
I'm already helping him to plan his first 5-8 years already.
Oh.
What you want to do, whether you want to go into the corporate or whether you want to go into whatever it is. It's not may or may not happen, but I'm just mapping out options for him, what it entails, and the choice is his. But ultimately, it's his decision.
But still so lucky to have a dad like Adrian.
Actually, he is very lucky to have
Very lucky. Heng sweet kid.
So I always say, it's never too late. Okay, that's why I always say that if you're and the best time to fix your roof is when it's not raining. Not when your bosses have made indications very clear that they're going to retrench people, or there's going to be a streamlining or reorganization. If you're very happy in your job right now, now's the time to start looking for that exit. Where is it? Funny, when I go on a plane, I'm a creature of habit. When I sit in a seat, right, I count how many seats forward and backwards to the exit.
Oh,
That's a habit.
He's the same as I am. I do the same.
You do that
that's
too?
definitely planning ahead.
I don't know, just in case. So, so I tell my wife, 7 seats up to the left or 4 seats back, exit. And then I buckle up. I'll do the whole flight. So I'm very kiasu. But the thing is, it's never too late.
See how different? First thing I do is I will look for the prettiest stewardess. Okay, that one ranked number 1, number 2, number 3.
Miss, can I have extra pillow, please? So I think it's never too late to start planning. And if you're very happy now, that's now's the time to start looking where the exits are. How do I get out of this place if any sign of trouble happens? Then reach out to us, info@careeragility.org. Always happy to have that conversation.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Always a pleasure to have you on the show, Adrian. Thank you very, very much. All right. Up next, Taylor Swift. This is Anti-Hero on KISS 92.